at exactly the 20th day of the month of June 2024. Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a tún káàárọ̀ sí orí ètò ìkànnì wa as we continue our argument and the reasons why the Yorubas should get the hell out of Nigeria before Nigeria sink every single one of us. So if you're new to the platform, this is a discussion on self-determination, our inalienable right, and hopefully one day we will become an independent country, and the desire and the wish of our youth and the future of the country known as Yoruba will come to reality. But it's not going to come without a lot of work, and it's not going to come without a lot of discussion. So what we do on this platform is what we called engagement and argument on the reason why Nigeria should now be allowed to dissolve peacefully. And we hope it will do. If not, things will become messy and it could become another civil war. If you force people that doesn't want to live together, you are calling for a crime against humanity. So in the interest of the indigenous people that are asking for their right to be respected, if that right is not respected, then the future of that country might end up like what we saw in the 1967 when British was supporting Nigeria against the will of the Biafrans and those that wanted to exit Nigeria as at the time. Nigeria was never a country and it will never be one, in as much as your argument that Nigeria would be a country, it is going to go down at some point. So share the program and invite your friends and family so that they can also participate. Yesterday at the 10 o'clock news in London, the Scottish SNP have started their engagement and their manifesto, which we're going to talk about later on in the course of the program. And their manifesto is based on independence of the Scottish people. Who are the Scottish people, and why is it important that the Scottish become an independent country rather than remain in the union known as United Kingdom? The Scottish people believe that it will be in the interest of the Scottish people to have an independent country away from what has been a union called Great Britain. And if I'm right, yesterday, Scotland also played in the European 2024 with Switzerland. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá seems not to understand that some of this country that you are planning to visit, either for your education, either for your own, business or japa, they are also doing what they called the fought for their own independence. So thinking that you will gain your own independence just like that, you are deceiving yourself. Nobody's going to make you to be free, especially the Europeans that prefer the way Africa is, so that Africa may remain, their puppets and be begging. So we start with the Yoruba anthem that says, Ishewa funlewa, forile ibiwa, kagbega, kagbega, kagbega faleri. ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bá ti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá, ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹ́jẹ́ ká máa lépa, tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára, ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ, ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀, àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Ẹnu kọ́ ni ẹ máa fi ṣe ògo adúláwọ̀. It has to be a lot of effort to deliver ourselves from the crazy country that British created for their own selfish gain in 1914 that has nothing to do with us. So Mokiwakwe, good morning, wherever you're watching. Ekabosori Ikoniwa Tiwankweni Koikimedia. If you're following us properly, you would have seen the video we posted yesterday on our timeline as I was watching the BBC 10 o'clock news. And it is interesting to see that the Scottish people are now under the SNP. SNP is the Scottish National Party in the United Kingdom, Scotland precisely, where they have now released their manifesto. Let's listen to how the argument came during the discussion with the SNP leader, John Swaney. John Swaney spoke and he has released his manifesto on the reason why Scotland needs to be an independent country.
Independence for its own sake. Independence for the powers to protect our National Health Service and to help people through tough times. Independence for a stronger economy, healthier lives. And independence for a better future for Scotland.
Let's listen again.
Independence for its own sake. Independence for the powers to protect our National Health Service and to help people through tough times. Independence for a stronger economy, healthier lives. And independence for a better future for Scotland.
Let's play it again.
Independence for its own sake. Independence for the powers to protect our National Health Service and to help people through tough times. Independence for a stronger economy, healthier lives. And independence for a better future for Scotland.
Well, it's a shame that Opolokpomo Yoruba that wants to die for a country that doesn't know that you exist. Because most of you were just born, most of you, Nigeria doesn't know that you are existing. Moki Babawa Bale Dada Nuruddin, good morning, sir. Moki Norma says, well, I'm watching you from Fiji, which I believe is Australia. That's a very long distance. Thank you to the broadcast for watching. Jumolu Afemi, good morning. Mr. Daniel Adeyemi, AY Texas, and Tony Ages, and the rest of you that will join on Instagram, and many of you that probably thought Anisha, I just woke up anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like I told you, this is our platform, and it's a platform that runs. Thank you so much, those of you that have joined us on the Twitter as well, and those of you that will join us in the course of the program later on. I am OLAYOMI KOIKI, popularly known as Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Mr. Brown, good morning to you. All hail Biafra, and we pray and hope that Nnamdi Kanu, and I think I should have a clip of Nnamdi Kanu as he was speaking yesterday from the dungeon of the DSS custody as it was appearing on the court, and then we can move swiftly. If you like, release him. If you like, don't release him. The problem will just continue to mount, and eventually, one day, things will fall apart. So, for the interest of everybody, releasing Nnamdi Kanu, that will be in the interest of everybody. So let us try and see if I can, and that's the video right here. Let's play that video quickly as well.
They should tell me what they want to do.
The direct question, sir, are you seeking an out-of-court settlement with the federal government?
I can't seek what I didn't initiate. They're the ones that kidnapped me and brought me here. So whatever they say that will happen.
But your lawyer is trying to move Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act, which calls for negotiation. Are you in line with that?
I reminded the judge of powers. It's the judge's powers. I don't think it's within his powers. It's for the judge to decide.
Okay, so would you want the judge to decide that?
Yes. It is up to her discretion to do that.
Okay, but now she has sent you to the AGF. So how would you explore that particular position of the court?
Well, the prosecutor who is prosecuting my fiat is not opposed to that. He too said we can go to AGF, and we are saying AGF can also come to us. That's correct. So that means they are open to the prospects of reconciliation. That's what the law says. He's actually quoting the law, what the law says. Yeah, not me.
Thank you very much, sir.
That was Nnamdi Kanu yesterday appearing after he was kidnapped.
Cows are not citizens of Nigeria. Cows are not citizens of Nigeria. So the cows are not citizens of Nigeria. You didn't hear what I said. Senator Adele, are you arguing with me? No. I said cows are not citizens. The section you are referring to is talking about citizens of Nigeria. Yes. And cows are not citizens of Nigeria. Cows can come from Niger. They can come from Chad, anywhere. But cows are not citizens. So your mother is noted, but rejected. You want to make contribution on the debate? Go ahead.
It is noted but rejected. Cows are citizens because the Fulanis will kill you if you dare go around their cows. Good morning, Just Reason. Good morning to our silent listeners. I am Koikimedia. So let's start with the Scottish National Party. We have APC. We don't have any Yoruba political party, as far as I'm concerned, in Nigeria representing us. And that literally means that you will not have the privilege of your representatives, asking for your right in Nigeria for the dissolution or the breakup of Nigeria. Internally, it's called a political party that has a vision for Nigeria under, President Bola Tinubu, and under the chairman of the APC, the Gandola, the criminal former governor of Kano State, another criminal governor from the Fulani clan, because Ganduje is a Fulani man. What makes it different with the political party in Scotland is that the political party in Scotland are representing the Scottish people under the parliamentary system of government. And for them to win a vote, especially after the trigger of the last referendum, that they were deceived that if you vote against the dissolution of the Scotland from UK will remain part of European Union. But that was a lie. That was a lie against itself, because the Parliament, the Westminster Parliament, knew under that, government, I believe Boris Johnson, if I am right, that giving the Scottish people a referendum, because the Scottish people were literally given They were given a referendum to decide their fate in 2014. There was what we called the Scottish Independent Referendum, which many Nigerians today are demanding. If you want us to remain one Nigeria, why not put it on a test? Let us decide who wants to remain Nigeria and who doesn't want to remain. If not, there will be bloodshed in the near future, whether we like it or not, whether it is something that we want us to know or not. It is not me, it's that you are forcing people that does not want to live together. There will be bloodshed in the near future. So in the interest of not allowing the blood to stream and humanity to kill each other, it will be better that the government of the day do not just overlook and say, we will use the military and the security to suppress people that are ready to die anyway. Because people are ready to die for the cause of what they believe. And it has been done before through violence, and it has been done before without violence, depending on which country you're looking at. In Yugoslavia, when the former dictator of Yugoslavia was told that Yugoslavia needed to break up, he didn't want to accept it. There was blood stream all over the place. But Soviet Union, there was no blood. So France contains the way, because in well, we will all be in Nigeria, but there will be more problem in the near future. So the Scottish Independent Referendum came through in 2014, just 2 years as also the British exit from EU, which also happened in around 2016 on the 23rd of June, which I was able to vote, and I look forward to voting again for the next government that I prefer that should be taking charge of this country, that will favor me and probably as many of those that live in this country. So that means July 4th, if you are living in this country legally, you should be going out to cast your vote, and don't go and walk. Make sure you leave enough room. The voting starts at 7 a.m. It closes at 10. You might probably not be able to vote through the postal voting because that, I believe, is closed. But make sure you are available on July 4. You live here. You are not living in Nigeria. As long as you live here legally, you should be going out to prepare to cast your vote and decide which of the government will make things work for you. There was a referendum on the 23rd of June, 2016. So we wonder why many of you think that if we are demanding that we want to exit Nigeria is like a crime. To some of you, nutter, thinking that, somebody comes up on the screen and say, we don't want to be Nigerians. And for you, that should be something that you go cuckoo. It's because your understanding is very, very low. And this is the reason why we have to keep coming out continuously, because your heads are all blocked. You have not been able to understand that if the British citizens were given the opportunity to decide whether they want to be part of the union called European Union or not, then it is entirely up to every one of us. Good morning, Mrs. Elizabeth Awosefaju. Good morning, Oloa Shawaki. Good morning, Gani Oloyede. Good morning, Taiwo Kike. And please don't ever, when I'm doing my broadcast, decide what language I speak or not. I am communicating to many people, not just you alone. But we do appreciate your feedback. Currently, my website is going under some kind of development. So for some days now, we've not been able to post from the website. But hopefully, it will be up and running very, very soon. Good morning, Mr. Adeni, and as many of you, Mr. Latif Owosheni. So, take note, in 2014, the Scottish people were given opportunity to decide their fate if they would love to remain part of the union called UK. That union was a treaty, just like Nigeria was a try your luck, a trial of 100 years. Try it, see if it works. If every one of you can live amicably together, if every one of you can live without killing each other and without bigotry and hating each other. But we've now realized that the 100 years expired in 2014. So whatever you are witnessing in Nigeria today is an expired product. If you continue to consume an expired product, you would have the consequence of such, whether it's a drug, whether it's a medicine, whether it is a food, whether it is a drink. If you consume anything that has expired, omani impact, you might end up having kidney failure. And that is why many people that are doing these fake products, especially people from the Southeast, continue to produce fake products, not just only in the Southwest, also in the side called the Southeast. They are good at that, just like we are good at ritualist as well. So it's vice versa, okay? I've been watching a program just before I came on air, the Yoruba and the other ethnic indigenous criminals that are scamming people around the world until their faces were captured. So as we are consuming those fake products by the people producing it, especially the Igbos, we are all going to die quicker than what we should have lived a long life. So if Scotland held a treaty, which I am reading according to the information in front of me, good morning, Mr. Bello, that state clearly that there was a treaty that was agreed on the 22nd of July, 1706. Good morning, Yawa Comfort Kike. And the separate act of the Union were then passed by the Parliament of England and Scotland to put the agreed articles into effect. The political union took effect the following year because it takes, some time to perfect things. Even if Nigeria is going to break, it will still take some time to perfect a lot of things that have joined us together in the last, 6, or if you go back to the amalgamation, 100 years. That took effect the following year on the 1st of May, 1707. Nígbà tí Scotland àti England to join together ní mo sọ yẹn. Just the same way, in 1914, we were also joined together, not by our will. We have not asked Britain after the slave trade that most of you should be angry that your forefathers were taken away and thrown into the rivers, and most of them, the parents, our mothers, were forced to sleep with those that kidnapped them from their territory and took them to plantation around the world, known as the slave trade. So sometimes I tend to understand your brain, because you come here and defend the same people that took us for slave trade, even though those of you that come here, I'm not talking about the diaspora that live here with me that have the same opportunities like myself, because abroad, as long as we live together here, you can't, I mean, you anything one lele ma bobo le bobo awata abroad, because ajowa nilu ini, whether it is America, whether it's Canada, whether it's Australia, New Zealand, or Canada, or wherever you are, as long as it's not Nigeria or Africa. But anything one in Nigeria, inside the Nigeria, you want to defend what happened to what I am discussing, that, you want the BBC to come and tell you, Nigeria needs to break up. Remember that these are the people that created the slave trade. Now, you've heard about the Badagry point of no return. You go to Gambia, you will see how the damage they've done. We've all heard about Macaulay. We've heard about the movie called Kunta Kunte. So Kilo Tuan take KMA Filpe talking about Nigeria that was created. You need to attack people like us. It shows that some of you need to go to, the psychiatric home like Arrow, Koloban your brain because we are here discussing about the same people that destroy our own culture, our own traditional religion, destroy our own value system. And we are now saying that value system, we want it back. But because you are in Nigeria that they created, you are now fighting against the people that are trying to tell you that it should not be the way it is right now. But I am now wondering if the Scottish people are more intelligent than the Yoruba people. They are not. It's just that the Yorubas that are trying to save and protect Nigerians probably does not understand what you are protecting. You are not protecting Nigeria for yourself. You are protecting Nigeria for the Europeans. And when you want bad in Nigeria, if a European comes to Nigeria, even a Lebanese, you understand a Lebanese because he has a different skin color. They are more respected than you, the citizen of the fraudulent country that you are trying to love and protect. I am not even talking about an Englishman or an American, a Canadian that travels to Nigeria. I am talking about a Lebanese. And we have seen it where even a Chinese, Mokiyami Ireti, Ebisua. Can you imagine Enitowalati Lebanese, a Chinese criminal that came out from the prison, Towafin Shishen in Nigeria, I'm disrespecting the citizen, Mokia Biyemi TV. I'm disrespecting the indigenous people on their own territory. You know why? Because you do not have a government that value you in the first place. Mokia Wawura the beauty. So, in 1706, England and Scotland were together. They came together and decided to have a treaty to say, let's form a union and become one body. They were separate, just like Moibori, Mawusari, all other indigenous people. Everybody was living in their own geographical space. Our own space, tiwa. Olukalukuni space it everybody continue to have different things done according to their people. But the Europeans, known as the British, good morning, Triple DRS, they came in. We thought they were friends. We thought they were people that we love. We welcomed them. Good morning, Silver Badmos. And then all of a sudden, what is going on? What have we done? In the middle of the night, people were, bondage and they were shipped out. It is because they saw that as opportunity not to pay for services. Because imagine, everybody that were taken from that territory, they have to pay. But we are going to take you away for 10 years. I've been out of Nigeria for 24 years. That means it is on my own will to leave Nigeria, to come and live here, whether as a second-class slave, whether as a third-class slave. It does not matter. I left Nigeria for that purpose. But during that time, people were forced. Do you know what it means to force? That is exactly what is happening to us today. So when you are there defending this nonsense country, sometimes we wonder whether you are not sick. Because, Mr. Lawal, because we have now been able to realize that during the slave trade, it was a forceful slave trade. The queen during that era was pleased that wọ́n lè lọ jí àwọn èèyàn wá kó wá máa bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ tó ní sanwó fún. I mean, I'm sure some of you like that as well. That is why you want the system of Nigeria to continue to operate so that a lè dàbí ẹrú lábẹ́ àwọn olóṣèlú, especially how they've disrespected our kings, àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. But if a treaty comes in place, ìyẹn ló ṣe ń pè ní treaty, they were forced to be taken away from their motherland. Thank you so much. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Triple DRS. TJ, good morning. Mokele Nkonsi BME TV, one of our media in Benin Republic. I mean, that should be something that you should be more upset than me. Èmi ò tẹ́ gbé ní Nigeria. For me now, in the next 2, maximum 3 hours, my children will be out of this house on their way to school. Is that the same thing for your own children? Are they? I mean, can you say that your family is secured in Nigeria today with the Bola Tinubu government? Emiloko, are you sure that you have access to the healthcare for you and your family? Look, I don't have money in my account as I speak to you right now, and I'm not making this up. What we have is peace of mind. Because left to me now, with the little that people are supporting me with, I should not be worried about anybody in Nigeria. But that same little, I still have to take out of it and give to people back home. It will be more than enough. And I believe that's the same thing for almost every diaspora. Based on the fact that the system there is a failed system. Oh, you're waiting for all these your influencers. Láti jáde máa sọ fún yín pé Nigeria ò dá, but tá bá rí ẹni tó sick ẹ ràn lọ́wọ́. No, why should I be the one to support somebody that is sick? You have a government, for crying loud, that has done a budget. Your budget should be taking care of people that are sick. Èmi kọ́ ló yẹ kí n send owó sẹ́ni tó sick. I shouldn't send money to you because ebi ń pa ẹ́. Kí ni kàn mí pé ebi ń pa ẹ́ tẹ́bí bá fi pa ẹ́ lọ bá government now? Why you can see why most diaspora are already getting tired. But like Ifa, not every one of you, but majority of you. That is why you have turned into scammers. As I was, hello video to post the YouTube link. Don't ask me where it is. If you're asking me, that means you don't know how to follow me properly. If you're following me by now, Odeketiri YouTube channel, I've been up for the last 1 hour posting where Nigerians criminals, I am not talking about Yoruba people that are clean. I'm not talking about the Igbos that are clean. And don't come and tell me that Igbos are criminals. We have criminals in Yoruba, we have criminals in Hausa, we have criminals in almost every part of the world, including the UK. Don't come and defend nonsense. Keep that to your house. But mom see me, I love her too much. When I need her when you me, when I shake with more. Come and tell me Igbo are criminals. Yoruba criminal. The whole of Ogun State today has become a ritualist. Be careful. Even Prophet Tibeton said it yesterday. And you're being Tobano she party Ogun State Labekuta. Run. I'm a fair shoni. That is the crime that has been committed on Yoruba land that we're trying to fight back. But some of you now, not all of you, majority of you will then come here and then start switching, as if what we are saying, it is well understood. It is just that D. You don't buy me comfort ni kelere. Beshimo paroni. To ba lo Abẹ́òkúta, to lo ṣe kiboroki. What if fe ṣẹṣo? Wa ma gbẹ ni. Wọ́n ṣògùn ju kilo dálẹ̀ lọ ní Abẹ́òkúta sí Ogun State. Ibẹ̀ ni ritualist pọ̀ jù sí ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní rí ogun ṣe fáwọn olórí burúkú politicians tó ń ṣèkà fún yín. Ara yín lẹ máa ṣèkà fún. So don't come here and say Igbo lo le. Olè ní gbogbo yín náà. Criminals. Crime you like. That's why some of you that are coming into this country, you got to be very careful. If you commit a crime, you will go and serve inside the prison. So let's come back to the discussion. The discussion is focusing on the Scottish independent, only the focus, the focus point of the election, officially July 4. The Scottish people are now demanding that we need to go back and look very well into the treaty that was signed in 1706. Ṣawólọ́wọ̀ ló sign in 1914 amalgamation. Gbogbo àwọn ọba tó sign ẹ̀ ní sí olúkálukú wọn ti bá tí wọn lọ, wọ́n kó wa sínú ìdààmú. Bá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọba tí ó ṣẹ̀ ń dìde láàárọ̀ yìí, tó ń dìde lọ́sàn-án yìí, tó ní ó da èèyàn mọ́ wa, àti gbọ́ igbe yín, àti gbọ́ bí tí ó ti ń dùn yín lọ́kàn, àti gbọ́ pé gbà tí wọ́n wá jí yín gbé àtàwọn ọ̀ràn wa tó gba Sátọ̀dé lọ́wọ́ wa. Ẹ lọ́gbọ́n tí Prophet Tibetan sọ. How they created something to deceive every one of us. I am not here fighting your Christianity. Neither am I here fighting your Islam. I care less. I was born a Muslim. That is my Bible up there. That is my Quran up there. So don't come here and say we are attacking your religion. Moke, mighty, even though boy me. When you come on the platform, Ekiwa, Kali K, because I can spot when some of you come in, but you don't want to say hello. So we are not your problem. Your problem is the British that created this mess. And if this mess is not sorted out amicably, then the future will become very, very bleak for you and me. The only difference is, look, the world is a beautiful place. 195 countries around the world. I don't have to be in it. I was never in Nigeria. Most of them, Momba brother, I don't want to mention his name, Momba Sorolano. Money for 15 years, the movie was in Nigeria. Do I miss anything there? Probably, maybe a little bit. So don't think that, to buy was in Nigeria, I don't have to be in Nigeria, okay? Travel, as long as I don't go to anywhere that I think that they might get me kidnapped. And you know, the Lefe Kobayo, just like Nnamdi Kanu was compromised by the bastard Biafrans that are called the Doors. They sold Nnamdi Kanu out in Kenya. I did not even know he lives in Kenya. Just like some of you are just waiting. Come back home. Come and lead us from Mumbai. If any one of you tell me to come back home, come back and lead us. Idiot all over the place. But we would not keep quiet because of some of you that have got blockhead, oriented block, because you are involved in crime. EFCC, they might be bubonyini. Bang. Bubonyila might be in your mind. Let's come back to the program. So, May 1706, just before Nigeria was created in the 1900s, and England and the Scottish, good morning, Mr. Brian Glorious from Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. There was a union that was effected, but the Scottish people started shouting, hey, union, yo, shishemo. And English people are very, very smart. One other, Muki, Mr. Sholabomi, sir. They were very, very smart. We will give you a referendum, but the campaign that the yes and no, they were told that if we stick together in one block, just like many of you want me to keep Nigeria, Kinjade Kiwa, Kiwama, Dupe for Nigeria, Jolipo Bimisibe. She no Nigeria lo Bimisi na bile Yoruba. She boru color change. The Scottish people started shouting that this union is no longer working. Our land gas and oil in the Scotland region, we are not enjoying anything. It seems that everything is controlled from the parliament. They are not satisfied. So they were given a referendum option in 2014, but they were also deceived. Vote against it, we will remain in the European Union. That is the same thing in terms of financing. Oh, Koiki, let's remain in one Nigeria. Let's remain in one Nigeria. And when we remain in one Nigeria, then there will be a bright future for us because Tinubu is there. As if Tinubu will be there for the next 30 years. Let God give every one of us spare good life. I've added 60 years to age Tinubu. It will go, just like I will go. Yoruba will still be around. I'm talking about Yoruba. Ìran yẹn là ń sáré fún kó má bàa parẹ́. Kò sẹ́ni tó wá sáyé tó ní lọ. Nǹkan kan ló dẹ̀ máa pààyàn. K'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí ikú dáadáa pa wá sílé ni. Kó má pa wá síta. Tó bá dẹ̀ máa pa wá síta náà, kó pa wá síbi tó dáa. And people are dying on a daily basis for the things that things that should not have led to their death. Things that should not have led to your death. And like Triple DR say, which is probably not possible, that Tinubu will be alive for the next 120 years old. While he's still there. Because they're doing everything to make sure they kill him anyway. So, when that referendum came up in 2014, I was already in this country. I followed it. It was all about the Scottish people. What we are discussing today is all about Yoruba people. About Iranwa. It's not about Igbos. It's not about Hausa. It's about we to start with. Our Iran Yoruba. Voters were asked just one simple question. Kò sí question tó le nínú ẹ̀. Should Yoruba be an independent country? Let them put that out on a referendum. And let us go and see if, our people will say yes or no. That was the question tó bi àwọn ará Scotland. Just a simple question. Kò sí, ní láti ronú sí, ní láti ṣe lọ sí university fún, ní láti kàwé, ní láti ní degree, ní láti ní qualification, kódà, ní láti ní ìmọ̀ kankan. It was just a campaign. The campaign was held by both sides. Kò ń ṣe ìtamani wọn ní ká lọ ṣe referendum tó máa wá block àwa tó ní fún aláyè láti explain reason ìdí pàtàkì ìdí tó ṣe kókó tí ìran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ dá dúró látara Nigeria, because if you're going to be giving people referendum, you have to give them the room to go and explain to their people. Kó má jẹ́ pé gbà tá bá lọ vote làwọn èèyàn máa lọ sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ wà ní Nigeria, because wọ́n jẹ́ ká lọ ṣe explanation. So there was a campaign. I can't remember for how many weeks. Just like the election campaign is going. Tell me what election campaign is going on in UK. You would have to come and tell us what you would do when you get there. So there was just one question that was asked in 2014. Voters, àwọn tó fẹ́ lọ dìbò ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe èyí tí wọ́n máa jí ballot box lóṣòdì tó máa dáná sun. Torí àwọn ọmọ Yíbò pọ̀ lóṣòdì kó má bàa win. Which the argument is tó bá gbalẹ̀ mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́ náà. But if we have a Yoruba country, we would draft a constitution that will favor the Yoruba people against the Igbos or the Hausas, because awala nile. That is what is done. You will preserve your own before any other person. Kò ń ṣe ìtẹ̀wá ń ṣe election tẹ̀ ń yìnbọn fúnra yín tẹ̀ ń jí ballot box because ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí Igbo win in Lagos State. If you have a Yoruba country, you will control all that easily, without no stress. Necessary. It will be drafted in the Yoruba constitution. Ní èdè Yoruba tó máa kọ́kọ́ favor aráàlú against ẹni tó jẹ́ àjòjì. We will still have neighbors. They will still be our neighbors, but they will respect the territorial ground tí wọ́n ń gbé. Yes, If they become citizen of Yoruba land, oh yes, they will have the privilege. Just like, why do you think there's many Nigerians that have privilege to become your MP? Not every one of them were born here. Yes, some of them are born here. Some of them came here. They become British citizen through whatever means. And the moment you become the citizen, you have the right, just like many of you in America, in Canada, and around the world. So in the near future, you will still get such. Shibamari, hey, the first Nigerian to become the judge. We are all excited. But we will first make sure that the laws that govern the land favors the true indigenous people. The laws that Tinubu is using right now does not favor you, does not even know that you exist as a citizen. Like I always say, trust the diaspora that is telling you Nigeria will work. Tell them to come back home. They will not. Yeah, they will come back home for you, Dioba. I've seen images. They will come down for Osun State, Osun, Oshogbo. They will even come for revival. They will come for birthday party, surprise party. They will come for the weekend. They will come for 2 months. But they will not live with you for 1 year as it stands right now. Diaspora to bá ń gbé nílé for 6 months. Á jẹ́ pé ó ti há sílé. Á jẹ́ pé nǹkan kan right. Probably not been deported, but something doesn't seem right. Àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé there's something there that we don't know. Ẹni tó ti ń gbé nílùú òyìnbó, all of a sudden, no return wá sílé. Ó wá wà nílé láàrin yín for 6 months. Ẹ dẹ̀ bèrè pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Kò dẹ̀ travel yìí that 6 months. Something doesn't seem to be right. Should Scotland be an independent country? Simple question. Kò ní àní kankan níbẹ̀. 44.7% of the voters said yes, àfẹ́ lọ. But 55.3% said no. And I'll tell you why they said no. Is again the whatever you call it in Yoruba. Àwọn dàlúdàrú tó sọ fún wọn, wọ́n sọ fún àwọn tó sọ pé no yẹn pé they will remain in the European Union in the next 2 years because the Scottish independence took place 2 years before the EU exit. So people that voted no, they voted no in the sense that we love the union. It is still in our favor, but subject to tabao jọ wà nínú European Union. But wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn English, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé, kọ́lọ̀ ń jẹ́ àwọn tó ń wà ní UK ló lè understand nǹkan tí mò ń sọ. Ọmọ Oòduà TV Media Mukẹ́ Odùduwà, Waris Jinadu, Arikiriki. Some of you at home don't know the English people. We have lived with them. I am not talking about Europe. Look, don't mix them together. They are Eastern Europeans and they are true English people. To bá English person pàdé, bó ṣe máa rẹ́rìn múkẹ́múkẹ́, ó ti pa ẹ́ dànù tó mọ̀. Ẹ̀rín ló máa fi gbé ẹ lọ pẹ̀lú tea. Do you want more cup of tea? Tó bá ti ní ṣòwò one more cup of tea yẹn, máa bèrè pé ṣé kò sí. We live with them. We work with them. Good people among them, but the institution that govern them don't pay in their own empire, whatever it means to you, whether it is the King Empire, the one that the government is running on their behalf. So that says no. Now, fast forward from 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, nígbà tó di 16, ó wá lọ ṣe what they call the British BRICS exit like nígbà yẹn. There was also a campaign. The whole of United Kingdom ló ti sú àwọn pẹ̀lú union. Àwọn náà lọ dá union yẹn sílẹ̀ some 35 years ago. Àwọn ló ní kí gbogbo àwọn jọ wá together and become one block. Káwọn dodindi kó lè ní strong power, kó lè trade together. Níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn kó tó di pé wọ́n kúrò láàrin wọn. Tó bá fẹ́ lọ sí, you can still travel today But a lot of things changed simultaneously as soon as they came out. Some of you don't know that opportunity gonna get fun Omar Riche. Let me give you one example. One clear example. The day British exit, their passport become invalid. Láti wọnú ìlú yẹn. I will tell you, not the passport tó ń lò nísìn, ó sì wọbẹ̀. Èyí tó ń lò tẹ́lẹ̀, wọ́n record gbogbo ẹ̀ padà. Because logo EU wà lára ẹ̀. So ìwọ tó ń rò pé is a difficult thing tá bá pín. Ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ báwo la ṣe máa ní passport tiwa. So ìgbà wo ló máa take? O fi pé nǹkan tó ń pẹ́ ní gbogbo yẹn ni. Wọ́n ṣe tó ń pẹ́. Ṣèbí normal booklet ẹ fi ń ṣe passport náà lọ́ máa print fáwa náà tí government wa máa lọ ṣe ní whatever bí tó bá ti ń ṣe because ìta ló ti ń ṣe Nigerian passport o rò pé inú ilé ló ti ń ṣe Nigerian passport ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ́ ń print ẹ̀ shit o country ni ṣòfin pé ilẹ̀ ń print booklet yẹn ni no wọ́n yẹn ti gbogbo ẹ̀ wọlé ni wọ́n kó wọlé pẹ̀lú plane àbí cargo or whatever tó fi ń kó wọlé in large quantity and they distribute it to all over the world. At the UK new, at America new, the booklet. So the date Britain kúrò láàrin wọn because their passport then has a logo and they are no longer part of the EU. So wọ́n kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ change the passport tó wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ ìlú wọn. Èyí tó ń lò nísìn, the blue passport still takes them straight into the European country, but a lot of things have changed in terms of trade because was any part of that union anymore. Britain ṣekúṣẹyẹ wọ́n fẹ́ wà níbẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ sí níbẹ̀ àwọn nìkan ni wọ́n change owó wọn. They were giving them problem anyway, and I think they're still pushing to see if they can come back. I don't know how that is going to work. At 5:30 a.m. we've done 1 hour. We have probably 1 more hour to the end of this program. My focus is about Scotland independence, which is part of the real discussion tó wà lórí table fún àwọn ọmọ Scottish to decide who they will vote for in the election coming up on the 4th of July 2024, which is a countdown until around the 20th. Following a referendum, and these are not referendum that can be rigged. So if we're even going to conduct a referendum in Nigeria, it has to be done by the United Nations. Nigeria. It has to be conducted by the UN. And all of conducted because in Nigeria back conducted, ṣẹ́rí gbogbo àwọn olórí burúkú professor tó máa ń rig election yẹn tó yẹ pé ojú ò tì wọ́n tó máa fọwọ́ print tó máa parẹ́, that is going to end up being the result. So we might lose on the referendum. How does a referendum pops up? Is this something that can be done? The current constitution of Nigeria does not have a referendum clause. So when some of you say, go and tell your representative that you want to go, inside which constitution? The current 1999 constitution does not have the clause for a referendum. So that constitution itself is a crime. Good morning, Mr. Adeyemi Olayemi. Ekarosa. The current 1999 constitution, the fraudulent constitution, the biased constitution, the constitution tí kò ní jẹ́ kí orí ìlọsíwájú kò ń ṣèpè, including myself, because I am also affected by that constitution. Maybe some of you don't. You think that because we are diaspora, that constitution is having effect on us as a diaspora, including you at home. So Tebawa Joko ni Tinubu will make Nigeria better. With that constitution, you don't whine me. Sheikh Pelu constitution, Makiyami Elizabeth Lemkonsi, a failed system. You're right, man. Sheikh Pelu constitution Nigeria, the 1999 fraudulent constitution, the constitution that does not give room for the progress of the people. Who are the people? You, me. But all favor the Okorochas, the Saraki, the criminals, the Fayoshe criminals. Ajimobi yẹn ti kú dànù. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ṣé kò kú ni? Constitution Authority, the one that they take to Germany for treatment, Akeredolu, he ended up died. The Yaya Bello, kò tẹ́ kójú máa tì yín. Yaya Bello sanwó school àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ títí tó máa fi ṣetán ní secondary school. Ìwọ wà bíbá yìí nísìn, òun wá 10,000 tó fi fún ọmọ ẹ̀ tó máa fi lọ sanwó school àárọ̀ ẹ̀. Ó wá ń pè diaspora bíbá tẹ́ pà wà ní responsibility ẹ̀. Ṣé èmi ni responsibility ẹ̀ ni? You should have a system that works for you. Yes, ìyàwó mi gbogbo àlọ́ máa ń sọ, ó ní bó ṣe máa ń sọ pé yẹn school free níbẹ̀, kò free o. Mo máa ń sanwó aṣọ mi, àwọn ọmọ mi o, mo máa ń sanwó bàtà, mo máa ń sọ fún wọn pé kò free délẹ̀ o. Mo ní mo ti gbọ́, but at least àṣà sanwó school. Government ò gbowó school lọ́wọ́ mi. It is part of the tax. It is part of the budget that the local government has been factored with. But yes, we have to buy. Ọmọ mi ara uniform fún ṣòkòtò £10. Orí ìyàwó mi fẹ́ láago nígbà tó di bí last week tó tún rí ṣòkòtò yẹn tó bí ó ń gbá bọ́ọ̀lù ní school ni. Ọmọ kékeré kí la fi ṣe sí? Ṣe fẹ́ nà ni? So we are paying for that. But our family kan wà tó yẹ pé they are in abject poverty nílùú yìí, they will get support for uniform. Government ti mọ àwọn yẹn. So the government attack them not by fighting them, to support them. Yes, there's poverty in this country. There's crime in this country. And tó bá lọ wo timeline mi, èèyàn kan béèrè pé Koiki níbo lélẹ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀, táwọn boys kan mọ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀, tó lọ sílé èèyàn, cha. I don't want to take away our time from the independent because that's the focus. But I just want to remind you, Mr. Eniola Oluwaseun, thank you so much. Very educative, watching you from Scotland. Àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ bí tó fi dìbò sí, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín láíláí. Do you know that this weekend, gbàtẹ́ fún wa lówó ni, mo ní kẹ́ support wa. I should travel to Scotland because they're having their referendum rally, or the rally as it's called. Kò tí ì sẹ́ni tó máa ní ká má jáde fún rally. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣì mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Olóyè ní sọ fún pé kẹ́ lọ máa múra sílẹ̀, òun bọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ti sọ yẹn fèmí lánàá. Ẹni wọ́n ti olóyè. Ó náà wọ́n ní sọ̀rọ̀ kó máa múṣẹ. Wàláì. Ó tún pa àwọn òwe kan, èmi ò dẹ̀ rántí mọ́. Àbí tí bá tún pè wọ́n mo dẹ̀ rántí kọ́lẹ̀. Rally ń bọ̀. Tinubu bàbá protester lòun náà, ṣé Wùsánì sọ̀nà. Ó ní Tinubu, you are the father of protester. And you are also the sponsor. Ìwọ ló ń gbówó fáwọn. We are not fighting the government. We are demanding our right. That right is still enshrined under the fraudulent constitution to some extent, but that right is also under the right of the African Union that Nigeria has. African Nigeria lọ yọ gbogbo right wọn tó ní ní UN àti ní African Union kó lọ yọ kúrò. So that ká mọ̀ pé Nigeria ò sí ní part of the treaty of the African Union. Ẹlòmíì ò ní understanding kan tá à ń sọ. Àwa ń ṣàlàyé lójoojúmọ́ fún yín. Òun expect pàdé mi ṣe wọn kí n bá lóye kó máa sọ ilé fún yín. Òun expect Jídé òtítọ́ kó máa sọ fún yín pé Nàìjíríà máa. Àwọn èèyàn ò lè sọ ọ̀rẹ́ tá à ń sọ yìí. Inú Nàìjíríà làwọn wà. Tó bá tẹ̀ ní lọ́kàn tó wà lábẹ́ ẹkùn wọn, wọ́n ní inú làgbàlagbà ń gbé. Tèmi náà bá wà Nàìjíríà, definitely tó bá jẹ́ pé that line ni mo wà ní, I might not be able to. Bá ṣe ara wọn tó wà nílé tó ń sọ̀rọ̀. Bàbá Èkìtì wà nílé náà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀. You don't have to be in the position and to ní ẹ̀ṣàdúrà fún wa. That's all. Don't force yourself. Àwọn tó lówó mọ̀ tó lówó tó support. And tó ní, ẹ má stress ara yín. Mo kí brother mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Scotland. A very beautiful place. Many Nigerians are there because there's oil and gas in that place. Mo láwọn pàdé mi kan tán owó burúkú wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ibẹ̀ ló ti kàwé. Lára àwọn top guys wà nígbà tá wà ní secondary school ni. I won't mention his name. Mo kí Fọwọ́wí Ibrahim Ayinde. Advantage, Mr. Shegun. Good morning, sir. Almighty reward you. Surprise mercy. Benny, we need mercy. So let's move swiftly because of my time. In 2016, we were given the opportunity I voted to decide whether we should remain in the European Union or not. And the result came out. The result of that means that many British citizens decided that it is time to leave the European Union. This is how the vote went. 17 million voted that we should leave EU. 17 million. While 16 million, very, very close, wanted to remain a member of the European Union. Àwọn tó pọ̀ jù nínú ẹ̀ ni àwọn ará Scotland, because ẹ rántí pé ní 2014 in tí àwọn England sọ fún wọn, àwọn English ni pé if you stay in the Union, ìyẹn ti UK, àwa náà máa remain in the EU, wọ́n parọ́ fún wọn. Just like your politicians, every 4 years. Oh, torí wọn náà wá slot, òun wá slot in Mecca. You can go to Mecca yourself if you are making money and you are doing very well in an economy that works. Kilo, need the government láti fún any slot. You can go to Jerusalem. You don't need a politician to support you if the system was working. That's what we are saying. Why should I go and be begging the politician for something that they should do when it is their fundamental right to make things work, especially for the citizen? Don't govern alone. But because you have not been factor as a citizen, sometimes some of you are saying, I am a citizen of Nigeria, but your government doesn't recognize you as a citizen of Nigeria because the Scottish people have everything, yet they were given the choice to remain or opt out. The UK as a bracket were given the choice to remain under the EU or leave. And 17 million people said no, that we are leaving. While 60 million said yes. About 33 million was the valid vote, while 25,000 was I want to vote. So just we will vote dada, about just 0.08%. Now, coming back to after 2014 of the referendum of the Scottish people, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 10 years after, Oro independent is coming up again. Especially the Conservative have been in government for the last 12 years. She not take Lara 12 years. The Conservative ti wà níjọba ni what to deceive wọn pé wọ́n máa wà nínú EU. So going into this election means a lot to the Scottish people. I want to want me lot to Scotland, they understand what I'm talking about. Election, don't love me. It means everything to a Scottish citizen. And what does it mean? They need a party that would come up and talk about how they plan to pull them out of this union. UK will break up. How soon is what I don't know. Just like you were on Nigeria on a break, Nigeria is at the verge of dissolution. We're only praying that it doesn't become bloody. That is not good. But Tabana on Lori Kunkun, will allow a peaceful dissolution. Everybody should go and expect a newborn child that will come out. And whatever happens, Taban Bi Motuntun, think that of how you can end up to a Nigeria of your dream. Ali Bi Motuntun yen, but lóríṣiríṣi nǹkan níwọ̀n bá kó rọra lọ díẹ̀. But tẹ́ bá sọ pé kò ní lọ ní bó ṣe jẹ́ kó lọ, wọ́n lè ṣe CS kó fi gbé jáde. Wọ́n lè ní push yẹn mi pé tó bá máa push yẹn oríṣiríṣi nǹkan náà máa bá jáde. Let's do this amicably. But kò ń ṣe wọ́n ló máa wá sọ fún wa pé a ní right láti béèrè fẹ́tọ̀ wa. Ó tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Tinubu tó bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ. Tòkò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Pé right tá ń béèrè fún yìí. Right ẹ̀ lòun náà sáré ẹ̀ lórí government lẹ́ni to the president. Tinubu ran away from Nigeria when Abacha wanted to kill him. Òun ò ṣe dúró sínú Nigeria. K'Abacha kó pàdánù. Bó ṣe pa Kudirat Abiola and many people like that. Òun ò ṣe dúró. So when you are here saying, come back home, no, I don't want to come back home now because I still have to protect myself from the monsters. Tinubu ran out of Nigeria, just as I don't have to be in Nigeria right now. I want to Nigeria, they're capable for now. And I can tell you they're capable. They are capable. We just need to continue to prepare our mind. And like I said to you, if you have every means, go and renew whatever you have. Ní láti fi gbẹnu sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ lọ renew ẹ̀. Torí àsìkò súnmọ́ bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Àní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Lọ renew ẹ̀. Whatever it means to you, go and renew it. Let's come to the BBC website. As I was watching this man yesterday, in SNP leader, I went back to all this criminal olórí burúkú tẹ́ ń pè ní senator house of àwọn olóṣì àwọn tálálẹ̀ máa bulletproof kàyín tẹ́ gbé dání yẹn alálẹ̀ máa wọnú ẹ̀ àwọn alálẹ̀ mọ bó ṣe máa wọnú bulletproof kàyín tí ìbọn bá wọ̀ alálẹ̀ máa wọnú ẹ̀ àfi tẹ́ bá jáde tẹ́ wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ bí John Sweeney tó wá jáde tó ń sọ pé máa ní Koiki wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ lábẹ́lẹ̀ politician tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ lábẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀ ní ṣoríire ogun lákàyè máa pa yín ni ọ̀rọ̀ wo lẹ́ ń sọ lábẹ́lẹ̀ a náà fẹ́ lọ ẹ jáde ká rí yín ká sọ̀rọ̀ ká support yín ká tí nọ́dánà kan tó bá ṣe gbẹ̀gbẹ̀ mọ́ yín kò ní dá fún Sultan of Sokoto olórí burúkú àti Sanusi wọ́n ní ṣoríire Sanusi ló bà gbogbo banking system ilẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ àwọn olóṣì gbogbo ìyà tó ń jẹ léni pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ banking ẹ lọ mú ẹkùn Sanusi dání olè àtẹ̀mẹ́fẹ̀lẹ̀ gbogbo wọn pátá criminals pump bastard àwọn olè jaguda wọ́n gba báńkì Yorùbá wọ́n gbé fáwọn Ìgbò wọ́n ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́kùn láàrin ara wọn àwọn billionaire níbo ló ti billionaire sí níbo ló ti rówó náà níbo ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí ló ń tà software wo ló tà iléeṣẹ́ wo ló dá sílẹ̀ all of a sudden I'm a billionaire Nàìjíríà nìkan ló máa ní I'm a billionaire I'm a millionaire iṣẹ́ wo ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe generation wealth ni ìlú ìnísà máa ń mọ̀ páwọn kan generation wealth ni wọ́n máa ń pàṣẹ síra wọn lọ́wọ́ ni ìyàwó Rishi Sunak ó ní stake nínú company bàbá ẹ̀ $100 million olówó burúkú ní Rishi Sunak tẹ́ ń rí yẹn prime minister wa owó burúkú ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ ìyàwó ẹ̀ bí ìṣẹ́pẹ̀ rẹ̀ technology náà ní bàbá àwọn ìyàwó ẹ̀ ń tà l'Amẹ́ríkà technology wo làwọn ti ń tà àwọn olè àwọn jẹgúrújẹrá tó mú Nàìjíríà tó sọ di private bank wọn tí wọ́n wá ń defend wọn orí ẹ̀ borí 1 million kò sí lákàntẹ̀ ó ní 10 million láti máa fi ṣòwò kó máa fi transact pé 10 million lélẹ̀ ó yẹ ká rajà níbí ká jù sọ̀hún ọmọ gbogbo ọba jẹ́ àwọn yẹn ló wá ń support mo kí Ògúnmọ́lá Abíọ́dún àwọn yẹn nìwọ wá ń support ó ṣe lára ẹ̀ wà máa wa mọ́tò gbogbo mo rí Yorùbá máa kan tó ń complain lánàá lórí fídíò kan lọ́dọ̀ àwọn Ìgbòho-dé bàbá yẹn ní Mẹ̀dúgùrì lélẹ́yìí o ẹ wo gbogbo títì bó ṣe tẹ́ lọ Ọbásanjọ́ ó ṣe government fún 8 years kò mandate àwọn tó lè lọ sí Jimmy Koye ẹ̀gbọ́n mi mo kí yín kó fix Lagos Ìbàdàn expressway àwọn Julius Berger kó fún wọn ní mandate pé within 1 year kẹ́ fix gbogbo títì yẹn fún mi gbàtẹ́ pé bulletproof car ló ń gbé káàkiri àwọn ìkà àwọn olè jẹgúrújẹrá àwọn tara wọn nìkan lọ ní mo rí àwọn èèyàn tó ń lọ sójúde ọba yes àwa la ní culture yẹn but títí wo lẹ gbàdé bẹ́ẹ̀ smelly you can tell from the crowd wọ́n wá ń wá àwọn tó wá bíi special being lẹ́yìn ojúde ọba gbogbo ẹ lọ sí Ìjẹ̀bú nísìnyí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ páúpáú ni kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ níbẹ̀ yes I love ojúde ọba gbàtẹ́ fún wa lówó la ṣe lọ síbẹ̀ a lè máa ṣe wàhálà kankan ìyàn rẹ̀ ń ṣe part of níta gbágbé dání nísìn àti ní kẹ́ support wa ká lọ sójúde ọba ààrẹ ní fún wa lówó pé Koiki 100,000 ni kó àwọn ọmọ ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ kí ìwọ náà lọ fún wa ní live feed so ìtẹ́ bá rí lórí social media náà ní kẹ́ máa wò owó ló fi ń ṣe media kò ṣọ̀fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bọ̀ ilé tí mò ń ṣe ní inú ilé mi mo ti ń ṣe mo ní láti lọ síta the only thing kan ni pé tí n bá ti san owó ná ìyàwó mi tí n bá ti fún lówó ná tó bá ti disconnected àbí tí n bá ti sanwó internet ṣé tí n bá ní internet máa jáde máa sọ̀rọ̀ ó ṣe ọdún 8 èmi mo dé ibi tó kọ́lé sí ìyẹn Ọbásanjọ́ yẹn ọ̀nà Àtìkù gan ló kọ́lé yẹn fún nígbà tí mo lọ bá wọn ṣe kí ló ń pe event tán tó ń ṣe ní December can't even remember now jagbajagba jogbojogbo ẹ lọ wo gbogbo àwọn tó lọ sójúde ọba àwọn èèyàn wá ń wò wọn látòkè báyìí ẹ̀yin máa wo picture àwọn tó wà lórí ẹṣin yẹn àwọn tó wà lágbègbè yẹn ni kẹ́ máa wẹ̀ rí pé inú ìṣẹ́nú ìyàlọ́ wọn wà they are not happy ẹ fi pé wọ́n happy ni gbà àwọn ilé tó dé láti ìlú òyìnbó London báyìí ló ń ṣe báyìí máa ṣe a máa tọrọ owó ẹ̀rọ àwọn kéékèèké ọ̀ ní show picture àwọn yẹn fún yín tí bá parọ́ kọ́ ẹja mi èmi ti lọ pati níjẹ̀bú tí wọ́n àdàlù gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n dàrú pọ̀ ní gbajàgbà ń dà pọ̀ mo ní kí ló máa fi ṣe ọ́n tábàdé lọ́ọ́ máa lọ sort it out. That is what they've done to our people. Yes, it's good to go and do all those things. Ojude Oba is a beautiful thing. It's been with us for a very long time. But what about the people within that region? How have we looked about their welfare? I'm not talking about you as an individual. Ẹgbẹ́ kọ́ ló yẹ kó máa take care aráàlú. Government ló yẹ kó take care aráàlú. Títí tẹ́ fi déjọ́ ìbò òde báwo ló ṣe rí? Àwọn olórí burúkú ìbùkún àwọn olè àwọn sùn. Wọ́n náà wọn kan dìbò fún wọn lọ́nà Ìjẹ̀bú Òde wọ́n ní ṣe gbogbo títì. Wọ́n náà wọn kan dìbò fún wọn lọ́nà Láàrò. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ condemn gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn tó máa fi lọ. And you are telling us that is a system that is working. Kò ní dá fún gbogbo yẹn ní ṣoríire. Gbogbo ẹ tó bá sọ pé kí n má bo olóṣèlú wọn náà ní ṣoríire ni mo sọ fún ẹ. Tó rọ́ ti ní kí n má bo ẹ̀yìn mọ́. Ẹ fi mi àtàwọn olóṣèlú sílẹ̀. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó bá fẹ́ ṣe fún mi. Ẹ sún mi sí UK. And I'm not coming to Nigeria anytime soon. Tí bá dẹ̀ máa wá Nàìjíríà, ìgbà tí Fá bá sọ pé àsìkò tó kò dẹ̀ sí bá bá ẹni tó lè sọ pé ká má wá. Ilẹ̀ wa ni. Bàsìkò tí tó ẹ̀yin ẹ̀kọ́ lẹ́ máa sọ fún mi nígbà tí máa wá. Ó kù díẹ̀. Tó bá ní kí n má bo olóṣèlú, máa bó bàbá ìwọ náà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Leave me with them. Wọ́n ti ní kí n má bo ẹ̀yin mọ́. Bọ́ ìmọ̀ àtàwọn olóṣèlú ẹ gba ṣégé ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu mi. Ẹ ní ṣoríire. Àwọn alálẹ̀ máa wọlé payín ni. Fún ìkà tẹ́ ń ṣe fáwọn èèyàn wa. Wọ́n máa wọlé payín ni mo sọ. Bí ọ̀kan bá ní kí n slow down kan máa fún ẹ lépè. Àwọn ọ̀ka. Lagos Ibadan expressway wọ́n parí ẹ̀. Ó wà níbẹ̀ níbi tó wà. Tó mẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn lọ lójoojúmọ́. Do you know how many people are dying on that road for 20 years? Wọ́n gbé fún Babalákin, wọ́n ṣe mọ́kùnmọ́kùn àtẹ̀rójú tó ẹ̀. Creating all kind of madness. Journey tó yẹ kó take 45 minutes. Ó mẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn lọ síbẹ̀. Ṣé ká máa sọ pé kò sówó ni? Owó wà náà. Mo kí bàbá mi. Bàbá ti wọlé àmọ́ fún wa ní super chat ni sí tó kọ́ wọn. Bá jẹ́ mẹ́ta la wá sórí program kò ní tán níbẹ̀. Wọ́n ní only those benefiting from the corruption cancer of Nigeria are supporting Nigeria, which is on its way to Mogadishu. Mo kí Yami Felicia. Let's go back again. But ẹ bá ti jáde tẹ́ ń ṣe tiwa. Ẹ̀yẹ́ fi tó kù sílẹ̀ fún wa. Kí ló ń bà yín lẹ́rù? Àwọn ìbáwí ilẹ̀ nílẹ̀ yín èyí lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn ta ló ń bà yín lẹ́rù? Sáwọn northerners kò ní da fáwọn northerners. Wọ́n ní ṣorí gbogbo northerners tó bá wà against ní tẹ́ bá gbóhùn síta. Ẹ̀yin governors wa. Ẹ gbóhùn síta. Ìtẹ́ wa ń sọ pé condemn Yorùbá kò ní da fún yín bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ pé condemn ẹ̀ ní ṣoríire. Ẹ̀yin condemn Yorùbá. Mélòó lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń sọ pé condemn Yorùbá nation. Àsìkò tí tó ni ẹnu là ń dán ó kù díẹ̀. Ẹ lọ wọn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Kenya lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Wọ́n ń fèsì sójà ni. Wọ́n fi tax sórí bread. Ẹ fi ní àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù lára. Ìgbàtẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀mọ́ tó ń lọ lágbàáyé. Ìgbàtẹ́ ẹ̀rí náà fi wò. Ẹ lọ wọn tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní Kenya. Kenya lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yín kẹ lọ wo táwọn tó ń jáde pé kí ló ń ẹ lọ wo Ghana. Wọ́n protest kan ní Ghana láìpẹ́. Mo rí lórí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù. ó kù díẹ̀, but ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ educate ara wa. So tẹ́ bá jáde ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú, ẹ forget about àwọn senator lórí burúkú, ẹ̀yin tẹ́tẹ̀ jẹ́ house ní state kankan, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ dìde, ẹ̀yin gbóhùn sókè, kẹ́ sọ pé nínú house yìí o, ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation, kẹ́ fa bíìlì jáde, irọ́ ẹni ṣe yẹn, olè, jẹgúrújẹrá, tara yín nìkan lẹ mọ̀. Millions of Yoruba people are suffering. Kódà àní from poor to extremely rich nìkan ló wà, kò sí middle class money náà. Ìlú tó bá ti sí middle class, ẹ ti wà in danger. You are in danger. Some of you don't even know that. You are in danger because somebody at any point could attack you for no reason. So the SNP has now given us their manifesto. Majority of the seats would trigger independent talk. That is what we expect from our politicians in the Southwest. I don't care about Southeast, Middle Belt, or whatever. I'm talking about the Southwest politicians. What they should be triggering now, into how we want to pull out of Nigeria, not how we want to save Nigeria, but buying loan in Nigeria. Nigeria was created by the British. Listen to the British High Commissioner. You are on your own. The British passport or resolution. Trust the British. It is on your own prerogative. Trust them, okay? So you are expecting the American ambassador to tell you, oh, Nigeria is there's a Nigerian culture. Everything is working. And because you see them Okoya, Tondagbada at Yawure, and you see all those elites drinking champagne in the reception. Sometimes when I see them in Agbada, all these are our elites, and they with a nice slow music reception at the British High Commission. Maybe because I am here, I know for some of you like Koiki, somebody called me yesterday, and I was shocked. Mr. Koiki, Monishekosi, one agitator on visa. I have to speak to Dr. Zabi in the morning because he's our chairman of the world media. Money agitator won't be number one. I want agitator campaigner lawa. But I was shocked that somebody is calling me, and this is one of our, followers, saying that Onamba wants a visa lost in Luonyibo. Nigerians, I am not talking about you, but Nigerians, fraud to one Nigerian is the amount of fraud to one Nigerian is we can pull it at a scale of 10. Now it is at a scale of 100. Be very careful. Yes, I want you to jackpot if you have the means, but be very careful. Baba Misono Oduni, Nigeria cannot be saved. They all know that everybody will be visited by one Nigeria Shege. Baba Made, the situation at home now is hell. Original, they say, what is the use of Oju the Oba Festival? What about Abobaniyi of Ijebu was awarded to Fulani? What an error final one in Belano, Olori Buruku, Fulani Lushi, Omali. In Yerufai, short man devil, evil man. Àwọn tó lọ import àwọn tó power, àwọn tó fi joyè ní Ìjẹ̀bú. I am just 30 minutes to the end of this program. At exactly 6:30 local time in London, I will be saying good morning. Etifema Kyasuba Lodon long. ẹ rántí gbogbo ìgbà tẹ́ bá ń ṣe àdúrà tẹ́ ń kí wákàtí 5 ẹ máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sínú ẹ̀. Gbogbo ìgbà tẹ́ bá ń ṣàdúrà gẹ́gẹ́ bí Kristẹni ẹ máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ẹ máa fi sínú ẹ̀. But kò wá nípa àtọ́rà ń ṣàdúrà when I can come out I slept enough. Tí bá fi lọ síbi iṣẹ́ màá ti jáde lọ. So sitting here doesn't mean anything. I'm still in my pajamas. It is built-in power. And I have all the time. If I was at home, it would be difficult for me to understand what somebody is saying as well, if I am not learned enough to know. But the fact that we are repeating the same thing to the Ngbo, okay, kill argument and warabi. Let's quickly read from the SNP. Wọ́n ní táwọn bá ní majority seat nínú election táwọn bá lọ yìí, àwọn máa trigger ọ̀rọ̀ independent àwọn. Ǹjẹ́ ó lè wá bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ tàwọn tiwa náà ní Southwest kọ́ bá wa trigger ọ̀rọ̀ independent? Even àmọ́ pé àwọn tó wà ní Senate tó lè ní wọ́n, àwọn tó lọ represent wa, mo dárúkọ gbogbo wọn ní ìjẹta àbí ìjọ òní, màá tún máa dárúkọ wọn léraléra so that you get, kódà ní tí máa ṣe ni pé màá collate gbogbo wọn bí a máa print it out so that a máa easy for me or kí n fi sórí system mi. Ẹ rántí àwọn Yorùbá tí mo dárúkọ tó wà ní Senate, ó lè ní gbogbo wọn. Má jẹ́ kí èèyàn kankan fúnlẹ̀ pé good Muslim ní mi good, ó lè ní gbogbo wọn láti Kwara dé Lagos State 419 ni wọ́n ó lè. Mo rí kan tó lọ gbé ọ̀rọ̀ Adéọlá Fáṣẹ̀hùn, ó ní Adéọlá Fáṣẹ̀hùn gbé òun lọ sórí Instagram, ó ní sọ pé iye báyìí lòun ń gbà, ó yẹ ẹ fún wa ní evidence iye tẹ́ ń gbà ká lè rí. How much is your salary? House of Rep, Senator, from the federal level to the state level. Ẹ fún wa ní evidence. Let's see how much you are earning so that we will be working with that alone. And Adimo, you are all criminals. You are sharing money among yourself. Constituency project here, constituency. That is how they all become rich. Editi Dino back to slap it in your Instagram. That one went to report Adiola. You see that was now only UK lower or there. These are your representatives. Before you come and talk like that, research where is she based? Only she's based in UK. And she's saying I'm collecting this amount of money, I'm collecting that amount of money. That is your representative. Keke or Kozmoke. But it's just unfortunate that our Yorubata wanile. That should be, I understand that you cannot have this kind of conversation with certain people because but at least within the people that you love, taught them the understanding, engage them. But come back up, come and lead us. No. Èmi kò bá dúró dè. Bá ṣe tán ní sìn mo lọ mú àti bá dẹ̀ mọ̀ tí Olúwa máa tọ́ ni, so máa ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀. Ìtọ́ni tí la máa mọ nílùú yìí. Kí èèyàn máa mu bí ògì bàbà pẹ̀lú máínmáín, àkàrà elépo níjẹ̀bú Òde. Àwọn ògì tó dẹ̀ ní swẹ́swẹ́. Àtàràmàlà á máa ní swẹ́swẹ́ nínú. Àgbàdo a lè ṣe ní wọn. They destroy our farmland. Mo ṣì máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa GMO food. O mọ̀ tán pé bẹ́ẹ̀ kò ń ṣe lálẹ́, kò ń ṣe láàárọ̀, kò ń ṣe lọ́sàn-án. Be very careful. Be very, very careful. Agenda àwọn ọ̀dà àwọn aláwọ̀ funfun yìí, agenda àwọn ọ̀dà síran àwa èèyàn dúdú bíi tèmi àti ẹ. Torí pé Yorùbá mo fi sọ, torí mo fẹ́ káwọn tó kù gbọ́n tí mò ń sọ ni. Agenda àwọn, mo mọ̀ pé mo fa agenda tó bá jẹ́ ní Yorùbá. Àníyàn àwọn ọ̀dà. Tó bá rò pé wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa, wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa ṣégè. Globalist ló máa ń pè wọ́n lórí burúkú ni wọ́n. A ti wà nínú ogun Third World War. Ìwọ ló tí mọ̀. Sórí North Korea àti Russia lánàá. Ó rí wò. Yàrá bíyà. Ó ń bọ̀ ni. ẹni máa kú ẹni máa yè òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Kọ́ má jẹ́ kí peace wà, àwọn ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí peace wà, olórí burúkú ni wọ́n, globalist ni wọ́n, ìkà ni wọ́n. So tó bá rò pé wọ́n ní ìfẹ́ ìwọ tó wà nílé, wọ́n á pa ẹ́ dànù píẹ̀ ọgbọ́n lábẹ́rẹ́. Gbogbo abẹ́rẹ́ tá gbà covid ọlọ́run kó ṣàánú wa, ọkàn pa bọ́dì mi ní ẹlòmíì ni a máa shut it down díẹ̀díẹ̀. Wicked world. You think the world cares? Palestinian 80,000 people injury oríṣiríṣi wà lára wọn, over 40,000 ti kú. Ojoojúmọ́ lẹ́mí ń bọ̀, ìwọ wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ní ìfẹ́ ẹ̀ta, ìfẹ́ ò lọ ni. I pity a lot of your people at all. Àròlé Odùduwà mo kí ẹ káàbọ̀, ṣé o ti ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ náà ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa? Ẹ má miss train o, triple DRS, ẹ má gbàgbé kọ́kọ́rọ́ sílé o. Tó ìlú yìí tó bá já irú àwa ilẹ̀kùn lé tiwa tẹ̀ dá, àwọn ilé kan wà tó bá tilẹ̀kùn tó fi kọ́kọ́rọ́ sílé, wàá má everybody ìlú wa máa sáré ni, wàá máa sáré ó ní mọ́ tó lé ẹ because o fẹ́ mú train, o fẹ́ débi iṣẹ́, o gbọ́dọ̀ clock in. Mo kí àmì comfort Ológunjà, gbogbo bí tẹ bá wà ẹ gbọ́ program kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ìyá yìí. Ó ní bó ṣe ń tọ́jú mi ní every month. Ìyá mi ẹ̀lẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń tọ́jú mi, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní tẹ́ tọ́jú wa ẹ má wọ̀rí. Ọlọ́run tọ́jú ẹni tí wọ́n ní Ọlọ́run ló ń bá màálù fẹ́ àwọn ìṣiṣi tó wà nídìí ẹ̀. Triple jar mo jẹ́rìí, ó náà ti débi iṣẹ́ tóun. Iṣẹ́ lògùn iṣẹ́ ẹ̀, ò ní lọ́bi iṣẹ́, kí ló máa sọ pé ó ṣe ó sick nílùú òyìnbó. Mò ń béèrè ni, tó o bá ṣiṣẹ́ báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ sanwó insurance mọ́tò ẹ̀, kọlọ́pàá wá dẹ́ dúró. Ẹ̀yin mọ́mì wa tẹ́ ń drive, ẹ jẹ́ máa check pé ṣé insurance dáàdì ṣó ṣì work, ọlọ́pàá má bàyàn dúró. Àníṣe Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ dá dúró. A fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa the last 25 minutes. SNP ní táwọn bá ní majority àwọn máa trigger independence talk. Irú nǹkan tó yẹ kó máa bá wa sọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn. Ìjáyàjáyà ní prepare your mind and soul Yorùbá people. Our rally is coming very soon. Ó máa loud. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín, mo ti yin fún yín díẹ̀. Bọ́lóyè sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá, gbowó dúró tán. Yẹ ká ṣàrà débẹ̀ ká tibẹ̀. Bàbá mi Àpáta Olúṣẹ́gun mo kí yín. Mr. Brown ni I am about close to work. Àwọn kan dẹ̀ wà tó bá rí wọn níbi iṣẹ́, àwọn ní brain power ibi iṣẹ́ yẹn. Whether is a cleaner, whether is an administrator, whether is a GP, whatever sector, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe wà nílé náà nìyẹn. But nígbà tó ti gbé electricity lọ́wọ́ yín, ò ní ná láti fi operate. How? Mo kí ẹ kẹ́kẹ́ Okuz. Only good food like maize are being promoted by Bill Gates. Àmọ́ ṣe ń bọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Bill Gates yẹn. Bill Gates yẹ pé monopolist ni. Kò sí laptop tó bá jáde o gbọ́dọ̀ fi Microsoft lé lórí. Gbogbo ẹni tẹ́lẹ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́ kò ní rẹwà. Iṣẹ́ lògùn ṣẹ́. Ẹnu mọ́ sí ni mo ti gbọ́. Iṣẹ́ ni ògùn ṣẹ́. Tó bá máa pa iṣẹ́ o gbọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé ẹ̀ lazy. System ló kept yín tí kò jẹ́ kẹ́ flourish. Mo sọ fún yín níjẹta kọ́nà àbí níjọ́ ẹ̀jẹta. Ìta àwọn ọmọ mi rà fún mi ní Father's Day lélẹ̀. Ṣé mọ̀ pé bí kíní ṣe wà ní sìn glass ni? Ó jẹ́ káwọn kan lọ resume síbi iṣẹ́ láàárọ̀ ìpẹ́ ṣe máa bá máa produce glass. Fìlà tí mo dé oríṣi mẹ́ta ni mo ní. Mo ní grey, mo ní black, mo dẹ̀ ní color yìí. Ó jẹ́ kẹ́yìn kan máa jẹ́ pé láàárọ̀ lẹ́gbà táwa farmer bá ti grow cotton, àwa kò fẹ́yìn, ẹ̀yìn wa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí bá wa ṣe irú àwọn aṣọ báyìí àti singlet tá máa wọ̀ sísàlẹ̀ àti pátá àti boxer. Nílé máa wọ select and pick it, bend it and pick it. Nílé máa wọ second hand tó ń kó bọ̀ láti ìlú òyìnbó. Táwọn ọmọ Ìgbò tó lọ rọ́ wọlé láti Germany àti gbogbo tó ti ń kó bọ̀. Àwọn táṣọ òkú àti bàtà òkú gbogbo ọkùnrin rúbọ̀ ní sí Nàìjíríà. Dumping ground. Lè máa jẹ oúnjẹ gidi. Mo kí Emmanuel Felix. We are not here to put you down. mo ní ti bá wà nílé èmi gan lè jẹ́ agbèrò màá máa tẹ̀lé àwọn onímọ́tò tó bá yẹ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni màá ti rówó àìmọye àwọn ọmọ olówó tó ń fa cocaine ẹ lọ sí gbogbo Sùúrùlérè ẹ lọ sí gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá cocaine pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ drugs oríṣiríṣi má jẹ́ kó bẹ́ẹ̀ mú magí wá láti Nàìjíríà o wọ́n ti ń ràbẹ̀ bí igbó kó má yẹ pé ìgbà tó bá dé ìtrò òun lọ ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ni o ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ní kó bá wọn mú magí wá ní kó lọ Dustin wọ́n ń ta magí ní Dustin lọ́dọ̀ ìyá àsìlá ẹ lọ rà níbẹ̀ má jẹ́ kó fi tẹ ìwọ ló mọ bó èmi kúkú mọ bí ṣe gbàwé tèmi ìyẹn kan kúkú ní sọ èmi kúkú wá Nàìjíríà nísìn èmi náà rẹ̀ rányàn níṣẹ́ kábàkábà gbogbo tẹ bá fẹ́ bá mi gbé wá ẹ make sure pé ẹ tú dáadáa má jẹ́ kó fi tiwọn kó bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni tó wà ń lé wọ́n desperate fún owó bí àṣà yèyé dára ṣe máa ń sọ kọ́ lọ́ bá ń kẹ́ kó ní kó wé kò sẹ́ni tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ owó gbogbo wa ní bọ́ má jẹ́ kó kó bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní Addis is selling maggi ọ̀pọ̀ àti ní store Kentos ní Manchester ẹ lọ ra maggi lọ́dọ̀ wọn àwọn tó máa kó wọlé ní packaging dáadáa tó ń ṣàwọn olè tó ti ráàpù maggi tó kó gbó sí torí àsìkò ni mo ní 20 minutes mo lè fi ka article yìí lórí BBC ni SNP Manifesto majority of the seat would trigger independence talk mo kẹ́yìn yẹn wá Saheed Mẹ́lẹ́lẹ́ mo kẹ́ Wàsíù Tìyámì mo kíyín gbogbo ẹni tí ì bá rí ẹ má bínú ìyá mi Elizabeth wọ́n ní bàtà òkú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyẹn tẹ́ pọ̀ dáadáa Ọlọ́run máa ṣàánú wa o ẹ wá ní oríṣiríṣi àǹjọ̀nú yọ sí yín lóru aṣọ tó ń wọ̀ ní ó ti fọ́ aṣọ òkú tó wọ̀ how did we even get to this place cotton lọ́nà fi ń ṣe gbogbo kíní wọ́n dẹ̀ ní in the 60s àwọn India yẹn pọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa cottons máa ṣaṣọ òwú máa ránṣọ máa ṣe o mo kí bàbá mi Adéwòye ọtí kó wa ní mógùn ṣe gbọ́ ìyá mi Táíwò Kíkẹ́ àwọn tí wọ́n ń bíṣẹ́ àwọn wà ahead of us bí i 3 hours kàtà lọ wà owó ìlú yẹn ò lè gbé jáde o inú bẹ̀ ló ti máa ná kò sí ọ̀lẹ láàrin gbogbo wa mo rí ọmọ Biafra kan lánàá ìgbà tí yẹn tẹ̀ ní ó ní náà ó ní disability lọ́wọ́ yẹn ọwọ́ kan tí ó ti paralyze no ó ní kò paralyze bó ṣe bí nìyẹn ó wá ń fi ọwọ́ kan ó fi ń kọ ebè kábíyèsí lédùmarè mo kọ́kọ́ fi download fídíò ẹ̀ wọ́n pé mélòó níyàn fi máa download bó ṣe wà nílẹ̀ Ìgbò náà lọ́wọ́ káàkiri ó ń fi ọwọ́ kan ó fi ń kọ ebè ọwọ́ ilé ti numb ọwọ́ bíbà ó ti numb ó wá ń fi ọwọ́ kan ó fi ń kọ ebè ṣíìpì yẹn tóbi gan bí ó fi bí iṣu ló fi gbìn síbẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe ń fi àjẹ wá báyìí èèyàn kan wá síbà ní take it easy Koiki má ṣe pé fún wọ́n ti ní kí má ṣe pé fẹ́yìn bá àwọn olóṣèlú wọn ní kí má ṣe pé fún wọn Prophet Nasiru ní èpè la máa fún yín tó jẹ́ ká kátìkù yẹn torí àsìkò òtò ìdẹ̀ máa tán ní exactly 6:30 so àwọn tó wà lamẹ́ríkà náà lọ sùn ẹni tó dẹ̀ wà lórí night iṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí àwọn kan iṣẹ́ night òun ló le jù gbogbo ara ẹ máa nọ́ọ̀mù ni tílẹ̀ máa fi mọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ dẹ́n ṣe 12 hours mo ń bá sísítà mi kan mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn so many times ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ ẹ̀rùn ẹ̀ gan kò gbọ́ Yorùbá kan lọ títí tí bá ní baálé rẹ̀ ń kọ́ baálé mi wà kò gbọ́ ọmọ Amẹ́ríkà ni kò gbọ́ Yorùbá kan lọ títí mo ní ó sọ pé àwọn mẹ́fà kò sọ pé gbogbo state kọ́ fún òun ní local government kan mo ní sọ state tó ti wá 6 figure ló ń lamẹ́ríkà ó ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ lánàá wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ let me call my workplace àwọn tó dé àwọn small ní sọ state tó ti operate àwọn tó dé hospital mu nìyẹn bọ́ọ̀ bá rí níbi iṣẹ́ gbogbo ibi iṣẹ́ dàrú ọmọ Yorùbá tọ́ọ̀ bá rí níbi iṣẹ́ gbogbo ibi iṣẹ́ yẹn máa dàrú àwọn yẹn ti kàwé pa young woman in her 40s. Let me call my workplace. I don't know what is wrong with the traffic this morning. Okay. Máa fi bá Yorùbá ni máa fi bá sọ kò gbọ́ Yorùbá kan lọ títí ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ ràn ẹ̀ pa ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ ràn ẹ̀ débi pé Only no bá gbé any investment kan wá nísìn government kan máa gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé ni. Only no. Only tá bá gba Yorùbá nation. Àwọn wa mọ̀ táwọn lè ṣe. Ọ̀pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. To silent. Olówó burúkú tó wà l'Amẹ́ríkà. Olówó burúkú tó jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá àtàwọn ọmọ Biafra. Ìyẹn kan wá ní ká jókòó ní ràtìràtì. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ bí a fídíò yìí náà.
If the SNP wins a majority of seats in this election in Scotland, the Scottish Government will embark on negotiations with the UK Government to turn the democratic wishes of the people of Scotland into a reality. And the democratic wishes of the people of Scotland were expressed at the 2021 Scottish Parliament election, where just a few miles from where we are today, there is a parliamentary majority in favour of independence and in favour of a referendum on the question of independence. Now, I have long made clear my view, and it's my party's view, that the best way to secure independence is through a democratic referendum. The obstacle to that is the intransigence of the United Kingdom government. So what this election gives people the chance to do is to intensify the pressure to secure Scottish independence and to bring that about by voting SNP in order for us to achieve a majority of Westminster seats at this election. And so if anybody out there is keen for Scotland to be an independent country, then the only vote they should cast is for the Scottish National Party, because it's the only way it's going to happen.
Má bínú ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook, ẹ̀yin ò gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ, bọ̀ má kà ní word, àwọn tó wà lórí other platform gbọ́. Do you understand what? So, man wonder, what over nílé Scotland if it law or if it pull out, and we go and fix Nigeria. John Sweeney has said the Scottish government will be empowered to begin negotiation for a second independent referendum if the SNP wins a majority of the Scottish seat at the general election. Launching the SNP, which is the Scottish National Party Manifesto, on Wednesday, yesterday, the party leader, John Sweeney, said the election gave voters a chance to intensify the pressure to secure the Scottish independence. The Yoruba are doing what they call intensified pressure under Professor Adebanjo Akintoye, so that the federal government of President Bola Tinubu can dialogue and negotiate with us without a non-violent movement. Intensify pressure. So, pé rally ò ní jáde, Tinubu tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Rally ń bọ̀, a ló sọ pé rally ò ní jáde. Rally ń bọ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ó ń bọ̀. Ìgbà tó máa dé, láìtí mọ̀, ó ń bọ̀. Torí bàbá àwọn protester ní Tinubu, bàbá protester ní Tinubu, òun náà dẹ̀ sá lọ ní kó má bàa pa. Nígbà tá Abacha wá gbogbo wọn tó fẹ́ pa wọ́n dànù lórí burúkú ń bọ̀ l'Abacha wà lé nísìn, àkútúkú ẹ̀ lọ́rùn, olórí burúkú Gàmbàrí. John Sweeney, or Mr. Sweeney, also introduced plans for legal guarantee to keep NHS in the public hands and the extra 1.6 billion for the NHS each year to Scotland. National Health Service ló ń pè ní NHS. O lè máa wonder pé wo ló ń pè ní NHS. Ó dàbí tá a bá ní General Hospital yìí tó ń smelly. Wọ́n á máa wọnú ẹ̀ báyìí, ìtọ̀ á máa rùn, gbogbo á máa ṣe gbùlàgbàlà gbòlò nínú hospital. Bó bá gbá àìsàn kan wọlé, double ló máa gbé jáde ní gbogbo General Hospital ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Kò sí hospital kankan tó function. Ìyẹn làwọn ṣe ń sá káàkiri, sá lọ síbi, sá lọ sọ́hùn. Àdẹ̀lá ọmọ Yorùbá àtàwọn ọmọ Ẹdó, àwọn yẹn tẹ̀ pọ̀ nínú NHS náà, àtàwọn ọmọ Ìgbò, àmọ́ bí Haúsá wà níbẹ̀, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá kún nínú NHS ní gbogbo UK tó ń ṣe dáadáa. Àwọn míì ò dá sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation because wọ́n gbọ́, iṣẹ́ ti jẹ́ kó busy. Àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé tó ò bá rí wọn wọ́n lè operate àwọn ẹlòmíì, consultant ló ń pè wọ́n, ó lé tó máa ń gbé fún wọn. Wọ́n máa ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ni, wọ́n ti kàwé débẹ̀ ni. Wọ́n rẹpẹtẹ nínú NHS. Wọ́n ò lè fi Nàìjíríà ṣeré ní gbogbo NHS nílùú yìí. Gbogbo ariwo tó ń pa immigration náà gbogbo yẹn fún fáwọn public ni o. Wọ́n mọ àwọn tó ń bá sọ̀rọ̀, kò ń ṣàwọn àwọn ọ̀mọ̀wé bí ọmọ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ lẹ́ NHS lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ nínú public sector. Ìyá wa kan pè mí, sector tó ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ mo gbọ́dọ̀ dárúkọ ẹ̀ lórí social media. Very, very highly sensitive place. Ọkùn bẹ́ẹ̀, brother mi kan náà kọ́ ọ̀pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. Àwa táàtẹ̀ wá ṣiṣẹ́ ní sensitive place. Hotel tẹ́mi ti ṣiṣẹ́ for over 10 years. Tó bá rí mi níjọ́ kan báyìí, má fi akọni. Nígbà tó mọ value mi, even for the basic job nìyẹn. So what John Sweeney is talking about, because I need láti ka gbogbo ẹ̀. Ìbọ̀lẹ̀ ti fẹ́ ra Hausa bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Hausa Nàìjíríà làwọn jókòó sí tó ń sọkísọkí gbogbo blood wa. Táwọn máa wá sí bíbá lọ sí Selfridges, lọ sí High Street End, wọ́n máa náwó rẹpẹtẹ. Ogunmola ni, my wife told me the toilet in the UCH is disturbing and killing. Toilet ike. Wà lọ gbéde sí public toilet ní General Hospital ní Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àìsàn ló máa gbé jáde. Ìyẹn làwọn èèyàn ṣe máa lọ ń bò kaka ní títì. Lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì, bá ní ẹgbẹ́ títì ó yé yín, wá kọ́ra wọnú gbó kékeré tí ewé cover wá ṣe ń dán máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ dìde ni wọ́n lọ. Mọ́tò a máa gbéra láti bíbá fi lọ sí Kwara, kò sí service station ló ń pè. Tamara Park, wà lọ ṣe number 2, wà refresh, wà jẹun, wà fọwọ́ ẹ̀. Ẹlòmíì gbogbo ọwọ́ tó ti yàgbẹ́ tó fi nùdí tó fi ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ gbogbo kọ́lẹ́rà wà bú gbogbo Lagos State. Èrò ti pọ̀ jù. Kò ní ṣe pé rò pọ̀ tó lè tọ́jú ẹ̀. Owó tó ń wọlé Èkó ń kó lọ fún federal ni. Àtẹ̀sọ pé Tinubu ló wà níbẹ̀, a máa yọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ fún Sanwó-Olú lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Sanwó-Olú máa sàn yẹn síta o, ó yá gba 1 billion. Ṣé n tó bá lè sáré ṣe lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. A ní Tinubu bá wa sáré fix gbogbo róòdì wa. Ìwọ náà náwó sí South West. Tàbátẹ̀ máa lọ kò mí pé kó má ṣe South West fún wa. Mo kí ìyá mi Ṣadé Lotto, wọ́n ní good morning Koiki kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Tinubu mo ti sọ fún ẹ, kówó síta fáwọn governors. Kọ́tẹ̀ ṣàwọn 1 or 2 projects kó tó máa lọ. Speaking at the Manifesto launch ìyẹn nílùú Edinburgh, ìyẹn Mr. Sweeney, only who is also the Scotland First Minister, said, if the SNP wins a majority of the seats in this election in July 4th, the Scottish government will embark on negotiation with the UK government to run the democratic wishes of people in Scotland into reality. Ṣé bí nǹkan tí bàbá Akíntóyè náà ń sọ nìyẹn? Kí ló yàtọ̀ níbẹ̀? Bàbá Akíntóyè ní President Tinubu títí di June ending, the wish of the Yoruba people to become reality, let's discuss, let's dialogue. Ìlú tí ẹ bá fẹ́ bá jà lẹ máa sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ dialogue. Tó bá yẹ pé a fẹ́ dialogue ni a ti mọ̀ tá máa ṣe, a máa dá gbogbo ẹ̀rú gbàgà gbogbo, but a kì í ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọmọ Yorùbá ni wá, a ní làákàyè. Ìyẹn làwọn kan ṣe ń wò pé ọmọ tó jókòó sí ìlú òyìnbó tó fẹ́ dọ́gun sílẹ̀. Ṣé mi mò ń dọ́gun sílẹ̀? Ogun ò ti wọlé báyìí. Ogun ebi pa wá o, ìyà ń jẹ wá o, economy o. Ẹ wá kó pressure láwa diaspora gbogbo àwọn ìyá yẹn. Ṣiṣẹ́ nílùú òyìnbó, sẹ́ndẹ̀ sílé, ọmọ mi a máa fi jó gẹ̀lẹ̀dẹ̀ ni. Orígbà tó bá dá abroad máa rí pé àwọn ìyá yìí ti ṣiṣẹ́ dànù, especially our mothers. Wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ burúkú just to make you to survive. Bàtẹ́mi dé lóye mo ṣe mọ̀ pé mo sì mi ti fàṣẹ gan-an ṣá. Gbogbo Western Union tí mò ń ná ìyá ṣe owó 13-14 hour shift nìyá yìí ló ń sẹ́ndì sí létí mi ṣe ọmọ lọ́lá ní Lagos Island. Tí màá tún máa béèrè fún kan tí ìyá máa sọ pé yóò ṣe jẹ́ kó di next month. Tí màá ní next month ti pẹ́ jù. Àṣé wọ́n máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe extra hours. And if you want more money, you have to do extra hours. Ẹ rò pé gbogbo àwọn tó ń fún wa ní gbà síbi gbà sọ́hun yẹn náà, wọ́n ń ṣe extra hours ní. A máa fún Koiki, a máa fún Lady K, a máa fún this, a máa fún gbogbo àwọn tó ń fún lówó. Bí n lè dárúkọ ní bọ́ọ̀dù mi ṣáà lè dárúkọ Lady K èèyàn tèmi ni. Yàrá dárúkọ ẹlòmíì ní tí wọ́n máa lọ dìjà. Fún wa níbi super chat níbi this that. Ẹ rò pé easy ni. Gbàdúpẹ́ fọlọ́run. So yẹn wá. The best way ẹgbọ́rọ̀ tó ṣe sọ níbí báyìí to secure independence is through a democratic referendum. Òun ni bàbá Akíntóyè ń béèrè fún un. Tó di pé Reuben Abati ẹlẹ́nu já wáyà. Afẹ́nifẹ́re want restructuring. You are talking about self-determination. Ẹ mọye tí Reuben Abati jẹ lábẹ́ Jonathan. Owó tó ṣe àkáǹtì fún. Owó gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ò ṣe àkáǹtì fún. 6 minutes ni ètò yìí máa fi tán. Kò ní jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Owó gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì òun ni kò ṣe àkáǹtì fún. Owó gbogbo tí Rẹ́nù sọ lórí social media yẹn owó burúkú ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ bó ṣe wà yẹn. Àwọn tó jẹ lábẹ́ Jonathan ẹ mọ̀ pé gbà PDP. Mo ní ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan tá jọ lọ sí school. She was privileged to ó kàwé dáadáa. Mo ní dárúkọ ẹ̀. Kàwé gan. Lára àwọn brilliant wa ni. Ó wá sí London nígbà kan. Wá kí mi nílé. Wá kí mi àti ìyàwó mi. Ṣẹ́rí PDP yẹn. PDP government yẹn. Tó ṣe fún 16 years. Wọ́n jalè. Wọ́n jalè. Kí ló dé? Wọ́n jí bàbá owó wọ́n jalè. Jonathan yẹn dọ́là burúkú ni wọ́n ló bá ti mọ tí yóò kò mọ́ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n jalè. So owó government òun ló dùn jíjù. Ìyẹn ni wọ́n náà ń dúró dè orí. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ń tako Yorùbá nation, tako Biafra, tako Arewa nation, tako Ìjọ nation. Torí òun náà fi di politician. Ó fi di àwọn warlord. Mo rí kan ní Rivers State. Tó jáde báyìí ó ní me and my people we go and take over the local government. If they born on our way, make you come. Warlord ló máa ń pè wọ́n. Owó politicians, owó politics, owó government, yahoo money, extra time 40 ni. Ta ló fẹ́ àkáǹtì fún? Ìyẹn la ṣe máa gbọ́ billions. Kí ló dé? Ogún ti wọlé ni. The best way to secure independence. Well, the best way for a civilized society. Nigeria is a civilized society, but we must still push for that agenda. Because àfẹ́ dọ́gun sílẹ̀. Àwọn ló máa dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ láàrin ara wọn. Àwa kọ́ la máa dọ́gun sílẹ̀. A ní agbára láti dọ́gun sílẹ̀. So ẹ má sọ pé Koiki fẹ́ dágun. Má gbá ìtí ẹ̀ tó bá sọ pé Koiki fẹ́ dágun sílẹ̀. Orí mi tí mo rà bọ́n ni. Àbórí mi tí mo rògùn olóró. Ṣèbí àwọn Fúlàní terrorist ni wọ́n gbébọn káàkiri. Tó fi yìnbọn tán fọ́yàn lórí tán ṣáyàn ládàá lórí. So gbọ́ níbi kan tá sọ pé a lọ attack èèyàn. So kẹ́ jẹ́ kí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyá mi Ṣadé ló tọ́ wọn ní Reuben Abati ọ̀tálẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àtẹ̀mọ̀ bí ọmọ Yorùbá ní bí ọmọ Gàmbàrí. Gbogbo sẹ́ẹ̀tì wọn yẹn owó politics wọ́n ti jẹun yóò. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo ètò kan ṣe tó wà lórí social media tó ń wà tó ń ṣe news kọ́ máa bá a sọ pé kò rí nǹkan kan ṣe mọ́. They are well okay. Owó táwọn make kò ń ṣe náírà mọ́. Gbogbo wọn ti gbọ́n nísìn. Wọ́n ti invest owó yẹn síta. So returns ló ń wọlé fún wọn. Ẹlòmíì ti ra lẹ́sà abroad l'Amẹ́ríkà tó fi rent tó gbé fún Airbnb. Different. Mo kí Yàmí Adéọlá Òsínlóye. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin grandma tẹ̀ ń bẹ ní Nàìjíríà. Tẹ̀ ń bẹ nílùú òyìnbó. 3 minutes ká tó parí ètò. Àwọn Scottish Independent, the Scottish National Party leader wọn sọ pé the best way to secure independence is through a democratic referendum. The obstacle to that is the intransigence of the UK government. Òyìnbó yìí pọ̀ jù ẹjẹ́ ń lọ wá mí nínú. Ó ní intransigency. Àwọn òyìnbó ńláńlá máa darí olúwa ẹ̀rú. Ó yá.
Intransigence.
INTRNSIGENCE. India, November, Tango, Romeo, Alpha, November, Sarah, India, Golf, Echo, November, Charlie, Echo.
Intransigence.
Kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀? refusal to change one's views or to agree about something. Mo ti kọ́ ìbò kan. In tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní certain experience nínú Nigeria nìyẹn.
Intransigence.
They don't want to allow us to.
Intransigence.
What is
intransigence?
Characterized by refusal to compromise or to abandon an often extreme position of attitude. Attitude in Nigerians. Koiki, shut up. Which Yoruba nation they talk about? With all the problem with it. The problem is the reason why we are shouting Yoruba nation. Nothing is the problem. Nigeria is obstacle. Is the is the impediment to our progress. Kò sí ẹni kankan tó ń ṣe. Yes, wọ́n ṣe ayé wà, wọ́n ṣe èèyàn, but in tó ń ṣe gbogbo lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn Nigeria ni. Àti tó kọ́ ìbò kan láàárọ̀ yìí. The best way jọra fẹ́ parí ètò yìí to secure independence is through a democratic referendum, but there will always be obstacle. Olórí burúkú ẹ̀yin politician a máa lé yín oníṣọ́jú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Olóṣù olórí burúkú ni olè nìyí. Ẹ̀yin ní intransigence síran Yorùbá, ẹ̀yin lẹ obstacle, ẹ̀yin lẹ jẹ́ impediment, ẹ̀yin lẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ ká lọ síwájú, olè nìyí, ẹni ṣoríire. Gbogbo bulletproof mọ́tò yín alálẹ̀ máa wọnú ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú atẹ́gùn àgbé àláì mọ́lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń pa àwọn èèyàn ní gbogbo Lagos Ìbàdàn expressway tẹ́ ṣe títì bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń disturb gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ kọrí jẹ kọrí mu mo kí gbogbo lélẹ̀ nǹkan sí. So what this election gives the Scottish people the chance to do is to intensify the pressure. Ìyẹn máa ń kó pressure ni ẹ máa kó pressure tó bá ní kí n má bo olóṣèlú máa ṣépè fún wọn náà lórí burúkú ni wọn ní ṣoríire àtọbìnrin wọn àtọkùnrin wọn ẹ ní kúure mo kí gbogbo lélẹ̀ nǹkan sí àníri jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lórí ètò ti àárọ̀ yìí mo kí gbogbo yín ìyá mi Jọkẹ́ Bọ́dúnrin mo kí ẹ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ ṣé gan ni àti fẹ́ máa lọ any good morning. Nobody can fix Nigeria. Let's break Nigeria and save lives. We are here since yesterday doing 1.5 hours. Come and see how they are looking after sick patients. 11.5 hours. Làwọn ìyá ìtí wà lórí hospital floor l'Amẹ́ríkà ní London. Tọ́jú àwọn èèyàn. Tó fẹ́ jẹ́ kó kú. Ẹlòmíì ẹ̀mí fẹ́ bọ́ lára ẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé náà ẹ̀mí yóò gbọ́dọ̀ lọ. Location 419 country must be dismantled. Moki Mr. Jimo. And on that note, Nuruddin Akimoyede. Gbogbo ẹni tí mo bá rántí kí for one reason or the other, and especially in silent listeners as well. Moki. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, forílẹ̀ ibi wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàlérí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bàtí bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa ìtẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ̀ nígbà mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ àwa la ní. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wa. What God cannot do, bá mi parí ẹ̀, does not exist. Àbọ̀rọ̀ àbọ̀yè o, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin Mùsùlùmí, mo kí gbogbo wa pé bí a tún ṣe ń jáde lọ lénìí, àní jáde lékú lọ́wọ́, àní jáde lárùn lọ́wọ́, àní jáde lé ń tó máa mú wa kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ wa. Ìgbò ló fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ wa ni, wọ́n ní rí gbà. Haúsá ni, Fúlàní ni, àjòjì ni, gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́, ẹ̀ ní rí gbà lọ́wọ́ wa. Àwa la ní ilẹ̀ wa. Yorùbá nation. No going back. Mo ní mi ni last man standing. Máa ṣí ọkùn ẹ kúrò lára Nàìjíríà. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin yá dáadáa. Thumbs up fún yín. Ẹ̀yin máa fàdúrà ràn mí lọ́wọ́. Kékeré ní tó kù. Ẹ fi náà tí wọ́n sílẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú. Ẹ sáré kàbàkàbà ní ìtajọ́ tẹ̀sẹ̀ bọ̀. Bye for now.